Hi, my name is Kat, and I'm going to show you what I typically take in my hunting pack. I'm pretty excited. I just got the K2 2000 EXO pack about 2 days ago, so I'm going to see if everything of mine fits inside of it. But I'm going to walk you through the stuff that I typically take hunting with me. I'm going to start first with clothing. So it's really important for me to have a good layering system. With archery hunting, I tend to dress light, but you never know what the weather's going to do. So I like to make sure that I have extra clothes to make sure that I am prepared. So I have rain gear. Hopefully that's not going to get into a big rainstorm, but if it does, I'll be prepared. And I kind of put that into a dry sack because there's nothing worse than getting into your pack and having your clothes all wet. So go ahead and put that in here. I also recently started getting into wool layering systems, so you can't see it, but I am wearing some First Light wool underwear. They're absolutely awesome, and wool is naturally antimicrobial, so it keeps your stuff smelling fresh. I have long underwear and shirts that are made out of wool. And it's not the itchy kind of wool, that's actually pretty soft wool. So they're really comfortable to wear. So usually with my clothes that are like in case of an emergency, extra clothes, I usually keep that towards the bottom of my pack because it's the last thing that I'm going to be getting into. This is, of course, if this is like a day trip or maybe if I had to spend one night or something. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my pack. I have the dry bag liner for this pack right here. It's pretty awesome, actually. Just an extra added layer of protection, keep your stuff dry. And I want this jacket, this is the sawtooth jacket from First Light, and I want this one to be accessible, so I didn't put it in my stuff sack with my other stuff because I want to be able to grab it if I have to. But again, I want it to stay dry, so I'm probably going to put that more towards the top of this when I get done filling it. Probably the next thing that's going to go inside of my pack is going to be my my field dressing kit, if you can call it that. I have these gloves, which are pretty nice. They're cut resistant, so when you're cleaning your animal, or especially working with somebody to do it, it just keeps you a lot safer. I also have this awesome Benchmade knife from their Hunt series. Sorry, this color was specially made for ladies hunting camp, so probably won't be able to find it, but they do have an orange one, and we used that on 2 elk, and it stayed sharp the entire time. My game bags that I use are they're made here in Oregon by a company called Rawhide Gear, and it's a breathable, I don't know if it's nylon type of material, and they're huge and they're washable and they're breathable, so it keeps those nasty flies off of your meat, and they're super lightweight and really durable, so I keep those in here. These ones have already been used, so I kind of took them out of the package. I also keep a set of rubber gloves because, I don't know, I have bear tag in case I get into something gross and don't want to get them on my hands. So this will go into my pack. Kind of like with my clothes, I'm not going to need it all the time, just in case I get something or in case of emergency. So we're going to put that in the main compartment. Oh, something I forgot to mention with the clothing layers, I also like to carry an extra pair of wool socks. Lately I've been a fan of the Darn Tough socks. I've worn them for probably about the last, I don't know, like 4 years, and I'm pretty sure there's a lifetime warranty on them, and I still haven't wore out any of them that I've had, and I've hunted pretty hard in them, and I think these are the first pair that I've ever owned. So put that in there. Another item that I have is this tarp. It's an emergency blanket on one side and a tarp on the other. Everything that we have, or a lot of the items that we have, are multi-purpose. That way we don't have to carry as much. So this can work as an emergency shelter if we had to. We've used it to clean game on, and you can reuse it. You just have to wash it off. Really convenient. Like I said, there's an emergency blanket layer on the inside of it, and so let's say that you're camping out and you're a little bit cold, you can throw this underneath you and it'll reflect the heat back up. So it's really nice for that purpose. I'm actually gonna put this, I think it's gonna go in the quicker access right here just in case I need it. So I'm gonna set that on top of the dry bag in there. Take my jacket. Something else that I like to carry in the woods that you can never have enough of is paracord. I like to get the 550, or you can get the 750 for added tensile strength. I just found this gem. I think I found it at REI and it's a little bit used. But there's an extra strand in there that's red, and it's actually fire starting material, so I like to have that just in case. Probably also put this on top of the dry bag and in a place where I can easily access it. Next, I'm going to talk about my fire starting stuff that I have. I always like to be prepared in case of an emergency. Hopefully that never happens, but if we need it, it'll be there. So in my fire starting kit, I carry an old pill bottle with cotton balls and Vaseline. I also have, it's called Merlin's Beard or Usnea, and it's that mossy stuff that you find hanging from the tree. It's a really good fire starter. You can light a fire dry or wet. It works better when it's dry, but it's really good tinder. I carry a couple ferro rods with me as well. So this one, there's a really nice gentleman. He made both my husband and I one. Made out of, I think this is a deer antler. And I put a little bead on it to make it cute. But I carry that in my pack. I also carry a lighter too. It's not like I'm anti-technology. I just like multiple ways to be able to handle stuff. Extra batteries for, this one is actually for the rangefinder, but I do carry extra batteries for the headlamp as well. So this stuff will go in this little bag right here. EXO makes these awesome little Velcro attached bags that can go on the inside and have like quick release so you can get them out if you need to. I have my tags. I always want to make sure that I have my tags. I'll put my driver's license and probably like a debit card and maybe some cash up in here. And I also carry a headlamp. This will also go up here where I can get to it quickly. I carry marking tape, and I'm not sure the name of them, but they're these little reflectors. Same thing for if you want to mark where there's blood and actually be able to see it at night with a headlamp. These things are pretty convenient. So these are easily accessible in my pack. I also put them in one of the quick release pockets. One of the things that my husband and I started using recently, we attended the Boulder Outdoors Survival School in southern Utah, and they had us bring Aquamira water treatment. I've used iodine tablets before, which taste absolutely awful. I've carried filters. I've carried bladder packs, but one thing that they taught us is that the more you know, the less you carry. And so one of the things that they showed us were these Clean Canteen water bottles. So not only can I use this to hold water, but I don't have to carry a ton of other things to go with it. If I have my water treatment drops, it just takes a few drops in a few minutes, and you can just dip this into a stream, get your water, get it treated, and be refilled. And then let's say that you didn't have your water treatment drops or anything else. The nice thing about these water bottles is that you can boil water directly in them, and you can sanitize water that way. And so you're never going to worry about your bladder breaking, because if that happened, that would be a SOL moment for me anyway. The other thing they showed us was that you can use these cups. You can also boil water or cook in them. I'd probably carry this if it was like a multi-day trip, and they fit conveniently in the bottom of the water bottle as a quick way to store them. I've always made these in case of an emergency, and they work really well as a stove. It's just like an olive can with corrugated cardboard and paraffin wax, and it makes a burner. Recently I found this online, and it collapses, and you can just pop that in there, and it makes a nice sturdy platform for you to cook over, or whatever that you're going to use to make over that. And if, let's say that you burn out of your wax, there's a thing on the bottom where you can just put sticks and use that to burn in, so you will always be able to cook with this. And the nice thing about it is that it folds out really flat, and you can take it down in just a matter of seconds, as I'm trying to demonstrate. I actually weighed my backpacking stove compared to this whole setup, and I think this weighs less than a pound with everything in it, compared to having to take my stove, the fuel, the canisters, and everything else with it. So I think I'm just going to start carrying this around from now on. So this will go in my pack in a place where I can easily access it as well. Before we did the survival school in southern Utah, I had no idea how many uses there were for a headband, and after that I learned a lot, and I will always carry a bandana with me. You can use it to put your food in at night, tie it up, hang it from a tree to store it away from the animals. You can get it wet, put cool water on it, and let evaporation be like a natural air conditioner on your head. There's just tons of different uses for these, so I'm going to stash one of these where I can get to it quickly. Toilet paper is also going to be very important to have, and I'm going to be able to want to get to that fast. So I keep the toilet paper along with my tags and headlamp up here. A first aid kit. I always like to carry a first aid kit with me, depending on how many people and how many days we're going. Usually multiple. If we're going to be split up, at least every person should have some kind of small medical kit with them. So that's going to be put in a spot that's readily accessible as well, because you don't want to be digging for that if you need it. I haven't decided if I'm going to be carrying my bushcrafting knife on me or if I'm going to put it in the pack yet. I really like this. It's a Mora knife made in Sweden. It's fairly inexpensive, and it works awesome, and it's really easy to sharpen in the field. So for now, I'm just going to put that probably in here. Like I said, I haven't gotten to play with this too much yet because I've only had it for 2 days, so there might be some adjusting to do. I always carry a map and compass wherever I go, just in case technology fails, or a lot of places where we go there isn't reception. I would hate if I got myself lost. So that goes in here. It's also nice to get a big overview of the land that you're hunting, because there might be additional water systems, or terrain that you might see when you get the bigger picture. It's hard to sometimes see on a little screen. I carry a GPS with me sometimes. We really are a fan of Onyx mapping. I have the Onyx chip on here. My husband has it on his phone, and I think later this afternoon I'm going to download it for my phone as well. I usually keep that in a side pocket. I like to drop waypoints just to mark different things or mark where my trail cameras are. Eye drops, I carry these. My husband and I both have had LASIK, so it's just convenient to have so my eyes don't get dried out. Put the water treatment where I can get to it quickly. And I carry lip protection. It's chapstick that has sunscreen in it. Put smoke in a bottle so I can see which way the wind's going. And snacks. Food's always going to be important, so if it's just a day trip, I just carry enough for us. One thing that we like to put into our packs that's kind of different than maybe what some people do is these energy shot blocks from Cliff, and they're just like pure carbohydrate energy, and it's got 50 milligrams of caffeine, so it kind of wakes you up if you need that final push. They're really nice after you've been hunting really hard all day and you need that extra energy. So again, I want that to be easily reached, so I put that where somebody else can pull it out of my pack for me when I get hangry. Nature's Paint, camouflage face paint. Sometimes, as you know, when you hunt hard, you may need to reapply towards the end of the day, or maybe just give it a fresh touch-up, so I carry that with me. It's really nice. It has a mirror, so you can see what you're doing when you're applying it, and I suppose in an emergency situation, you could also use it for signaling. Sorry guys, you probably don't want to see this. This is it's called a Freshette. It's kind of like a Go Girl, just a different brand, but it helps ladies be able to pee like a dude. And it's really nice because it keeps the splatter down, so if you don't want to track your scent everywhere, it's a lot cleaner way to do it. So I'll probably be packing that in a place I can reach and don't have to ask my husband to get it for me. I'll go in the side pouch. I think I pretty much have everything in there. Oh, I do carry a lighter. I don't have to do everything the hard way. I just like to have backups. So I also have my trekking poles. Usually what I do with these, with any pack that I have, after I have everything done, I will strap them to the side. And one thing that I did want to talk about is this poncho. I didn't used to carry a poncho, but we use this at our survival school, and there's so many different purposes for it. And it makes for great protection in case of a downpour. It keeps you dry. You can use it as emergency shelter. Like I said, I like things with a lot of functions for it, so this will be coming with us on every trip. I really like the roll top part of this pack. It makes it really convenient to get in and out of. And you can adjust it depending on what all you put in there. I also carry my bugle tube right here. It's a quick access in case you need it, and it actually sits pretty comfortably behind your neck. These water bottles fit perfectly in the side pouches right here. It's almost like it was meant to be. and it keeps it nice and snug, so it'll reduce the noise that you make. The one last thing I did want to mention, one of the reasons that we went with EXO, not only do they fit absolutely comfortably, but just the way that they treat their customers. My husband's been super impressed, especially after dealing with a different backpack company, just how absolutely good the customer service has been and how friendly they are. In each of their packages, they even send a personal note, and we really appreciate that, and it's good to know that they're looking out for you and they really take pride in their products. So I'm excited to try this out. Just a few more days until the season opens, so thank you.